So as we go ahead and begin our session, three ground rules that we all have to follow. First ground rule is going to be, of course, to maintain the decorum. Let us all respect each other. Let us all not disturb each other. Let us have some positive learnings throughout this session. Ground rule number two is going to be your participation. This session is going to be specifically for you, right? So unless and until you do not participate in this session, you will not gain much in the session, right? So you must have watched a lot of YouTube videos, you must have watched and read so many articles, but unless and until you do not participate, you will not understand how things work, right? So your participation is very important. All your queries, your suggestions are most welcome. You can we'll give you time, to check with me on specific questions that you have. For your questions, I strongly recommend you to use your chat window and not unmute yourself, because it will be very difficult for me to kind of keep breaking the thought pattern and then suddenly, answering your questions. So I strongly recommend that whatever questions you have, I will constantly keep checking the chats. So please put your question, your queries, your doubts in the chat window. I will ensure to answer most of them as much as the time permits to me today. Secondly, talking about the third ground rule. Sorry, so the third ground rule is going to be that everything that we discussed today has to be moreover application based, and that too for your own learning, right? So how do you apply these concepts in your daily life? You have to constantly check with yourself and as well as me if you have some doubts where you do not see how do I implement these learnings. I do not know how will this work, or what if this happens. So if those doubts keep coming to you, just type in the chat window and I will see that if I can address those doubts during the session, right? So that's all as the basic ground rules for the session. We are going to get started. So I'm sure that a lot of you did attend our session, our first session, and you may recall that we discussed on the fundamentals of communications. Because see, whether it is an interview or whether you are just joining a corporate organization, your communication is going to be so very important. So it is not just about just clearing that interview. You need communication. You need communication, effective, powerful communication skills, so that you are able to express what is in here, right? So if there's a lot of knowledge, lots of data, lots of information, but you do not know how to powerfully communicate, how to powerfully express yourself, it's totally of no use, right? So I hope that you all agree with me on that. Yeah. So I am sure that most of you would have taken the pain to go ahead and do your homework. So it'll be nice to know if you did get a chance to do your homework. So please type in the chat window, or you can just raise your hand using the emoticons here, whether you did your homework or not. Okay, I hope that you recall what the homework was. I had given you certain assignments. See, assignments are very important. If you genuinely put some spare some time to go ahead and practice what was taught, if you get an opportunity to go ahead and implement the learnings and actually go ahead and do those assignments, that's the time when you'll actually see that shift happen. That's the time when you'll actually see through yourself that, okay, this is where the roadblock is. This is where I'm facing the challenges, and this is where I really need to work upon, right? So keep practicing, keep practicing. So do let me know, do let me know how many of you actually got an opportunity to practice. How many of you got an opportunity to go ahead and do your assignments? So do write in the chat window, or you can just raise your hands out here. Did you finish your homework, right? So okay, so there are lots of people, sorry, I have not been able to do it. So it's okay, do not write that. I will understand that you did not get your chance to do it. That's really sad that you could not. It would have been wonderful that you did. Okay, super. So Ashik, what does the smiley mean? Does that smiley mean that you did it or you did not do it? Anyways, okay. All right, fantastic. So people, if you've done it, I'm sure you will have seen some of, the roadblocks, some of the challenges that you faced, right? So super. Some of you did do the homework. Some of you did do the homework. Yeah, 10%, 20%, 70%, whatsoever that may be. But have you done it or not is what I want to know, right? So even if you did not get a chance to spare those 10 minutes of your day, 5 minutes of your day, it's going to be very difficult for you to go ahead and practice and experience the change in it, right? So anyways, no worries. So for those who were not able to do it, I suggest go ahead and do it now. Okay, so today after the session is over, you just have to spare 5 to 7 minutes. That's it. It was not too much of a homework that you will have to actually work so hard and hours together to go ahead and finish your homework. So it won't take too much of time. All right, so do that is what I would constantly say that. So now let's go ahead and I'm going to share with you an interesting activity. Okay, now, this activity is about recalling the conversations that we had, recalling the learnings that we had. So let me check with you. Do you remember what we did, or have you just come here with like, okay, today I'm as a blank slate. I have no idea what we did last time. So I hope that that's not the case. That's not the case, and you still recall our conversations, right? So let's go ahead and try this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click. I'm going to type in the chat window a quick link. Okay, so I do not know if this is going to work with such a large audience, but I'm going to still try that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type a link in the chat window, and I want you to click on this link, and on this link you have to type at least one learning that you recall, okay, about what we discussed last time. Okay, one learning that you recall of what we discussed last time. So howsoever, for those people who are not able to click on the link, for those people who might be working on their mobile phones or whatsoever reasons they are not able to click on the link, I would recommend you, listen to me very carefully. I would recommend you to type in the chat window the learnings that you recall we had gained last time. Okay, with reference to communication, we learned about the fundamentals of communication. So I'm not going to waste too much of time doing the recap. You already have the video link for the recordings done. So go ahead and refer to that in case if you were not able to attend the session, or if you have a total loss of memory for that. All right. So yeah, no issues, Abhinav. If you've not attended, please collect the recording link. And for those who are able to attend the session and are able to click on the link, you will be able to see this slide. Okay, you will be able to see this slide. All right. So when you go to this slide, you will see this code. If the slide asks you, if the link asks you for this code, you can copy this code. That's 6703967. All right. For those people who are not able to access the link, you are requested to type in the chat window. Okay, you are requested to type in the chat window the answers to your learnings. What did you learn from the discussion last time? What did you gain? What do you recall about? We discussed about communication skills. We learned so much about believing in ourselves. We learned about the bag principle. We learned about the 3 E's. We learned about the belief baby, and why to lead to growth you need to have belief in yourself, how to overcome your nervousness, how to express yourself, why communicating, not communicating, what are the repercussions, so many things that we learned so much about body language, facial expressions, voice modulation, and so many more things. So whatsoever that you recall, quickly type in a word about your learnings. What did you gain? Okay, yeah, Hira, it's LONE principle. Okay, it's not LOAN principle. All right, so beware. LOAN, no, it's not a LOAN, it's LONE. All right, so loan principle we did learn. Thank you so much, Hira, for recalling that. Okay, Vikas, I'm going to talk slowly. Thank you for that. Okay, all right, so talk to strangers, facial expressions. Okay. Communication. Who is this amazing chap who writes communication? Of course, we learned about communication. That was the topic. I want to know, what in communication did you learn? Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Placebo effect, eye contact, body language. Super. Lovely. All right. Learn new words. Brilliant. Okay. 4 C's, 4 P's. Super. Okay, that's nice. The communication is not only taking place between two people, but also with those who are present. Very important, very important. Thank you so much, Rishabh. That was a good learning, good recall. All right, body language, one-to-one interaction. Super. All right. What is GSDD? Okay, this is something that even I don't know. Who has written this GSDD? Okay. So, all right, do not give fake smiles. Absolutely. All right, the loan principle. Okay. Importance of proper communication, gestures. Super, right. Okay, you recall the entire loan principle: lean forward, open posture, nod, eye contact. Very nice. Okay, so we have some very smart learners out here who remember everything. Okay, people remember the four C's: confidence, clarity, conviction, and connect. Kya baat hai? Very nice. All right. Do you recall the four P's? Anyone who recalls the four P's of your voice modulation? Anybody who recalls the four P's of your voice modulation? Type in, type in. All right. Loan principle, as I said, it's LONE, okay, lean, and then O for open body language, that is open postures, N for nod, and E for eye contact. There is nothing like A in loan principle, okay. All right, okay. Fantastic. Okay, the four P's. What is the four P? Human behavior and psychology. Okay, anything can be learned repetitively, just like the baby did. Absolutely, very nice. Okay, it's awesome. I was able to talk to anyone. Super. People are connected with me. Eye contact with someone else is very awesome. That's brilliant. So proud of you. I'm sure you actually tried that out, and I'm so happy that you did that. All right. So trust me, people, if you've really tried it out, it is really going to help you. Niveta, you have been raising your hand again and again. Is there something bothering you? Is there something bothering you? All right. I hope you are able to address. You are able to answer the questions. Okay. If you have any questions, Niveta, you can just type in the chat window. Just type in the chat window. Okay, super. So a lot of learnings. All right, fantastic. So brilliant. So for people who are still writing, continue writing. Okay, as to whatever you recall about our conversations. The reason why this is very, very important is you cannot move forward every time leaving the last learnings back, right? So you have to take it forward. Okay, so whatever you gained yesterday, whatever you gained in the previous sessions, right, you have to carry it forward. The most important reason behind that is that whatever that we are going to even learn today, those learnings are going to play an important role. Okay, those learnings are going to play an important role. So unless and until you do not know how to communicate effectively, how are you going to learn how to give an interview effectively? Correct. So you have to keep that in mind. All right. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take you to another slide. Okay, I'm going to take you to another slide. What is this slide going to be on? This slide is going to be on the word. Okay, so for some people it's a dreadful word. Okay, what's the dreadful word? It's that today's session is going to be majorly on that topic, and that is appearing for an interview. Okay, appearing for an interview. What happens is when we are working, okay, when we are working on ourselves, when we are gaining knowledge, when we are learning something, we pour all our efforts, energies, focus on gaining it. Take an example. You have your exams close by. Okay, and you know that, okay, I have like 1 month to go, and I'm working hard enough, I'm really preparing enough, pouring the best of my efforts to ensure that I actually go ahead and appear my exams really up to the mark, I get the right marks. So for that result, I'm pouring the right energies. Okay, now the point is, till the time you pour the best of your energies, fantastic. Now, what happens when you actually sit down for appearing the examination? Just a few minutes before the examination. So imagine your examination is, say, just around the corner. Say tomorrow is your exam. Okay, just tomorrow is your exam. So look at the level of anxiety. So there's going to be some part of your learnings, which is like almost you're very confident, 80 to 90% for most of you. Some of you will be at 50 and some of you will be even at 20. So nevertheless, we are assuming that, you prepared for at least 80 to 90%. And now you are to appear for your exam tomorrow. Okay. And then there is an anxiety that goes inside. An anxiety that goes inside. The point is that anxiety is gradually eating up your confidence. Okay, it's eating up your confidence. I'm going to stop my share now. I'm sure that most of us have already shared the learnings. Okay, so now, so tomorrow is your exam in case, and you now start worrying about, will I really do well in my exam? Will I really perform well in my exam? What if I forget the answers? What if those questions come up in the examination which I never prepared for? Okay. The moment you start having those thoughts, look at the level of your receptivity when you sit down to revise again. Okay. Are you going to be able to really continue learning, continue that revision a day before with that high level of anxiety, that high level of stress? Are you going to be able to be receptive, to be able to learn, to be able to focus for that entire day if you are worried about the negative thoughts of what will happen tomorrow? Tell me, are you going to be able to focus today? Yes or no? Is that possible? With that level of anxiety, will you be able to give your best today? Yes or no? Tell me in the chat window. Do you think you will be able to focus and use the best of your energy when you are highly anxious negatively? Is that possible? No, right? So, as we even discussed last time, when you are scared, when you are worried, when you are nervous, when you are highly anxious, your brain stops working in 100% capacity. Okay, so it might work at 20%, 30%, somehow it has to work, or maximum at 50%, not beyond that. So, what is required is, if you want your brain to work at its maximum capacity, you will have to ensure that your thoughts are positive, that you have calmed down your level of anxiety. So, if that tomorrow is there, already there. Now, imagine that tomorrow has come. Okay. Now you're going to that examination center and all set to appear for the exam. And in the next 10 minutes, you're already at the examination hall. And in the next 10 minutes, you're going to receive that paper. You're going to receive that paper. And you still don't know what is going to be asked in that paper. So then again, there is a train of thoughts that you'll get. Oh my God, what if I forget? Oh my God, I don't remember anything. Oh my God, this is what will happen and that is what will happen. What if I really don't clear? Then probably, where will my life be? And everyone, in my classmates, all in my classroom, everyone would actually clear the examination. They will gain so good marks and I will be the only person who will be left out. Okay. So the point is, the moment you start thinking all the possible negative thoughts, imagine your level of, your level at which your brain will function now. Do you think the brain will actually help you memorize, recall anything? Even things that you have learned, even answers that you already know, trust me, you will not be able to recall anything, or maximum 70%. Okay. So what you need to remember is, whether it is a day before the examination, whether it is few minutes before the examination, you need to remember the principle that we discussed in the last session, that is the bag principle. Unless and until you do not believe in yourself, that positive action is next to impossible. And to be able to believe in yourself, doing the right self-talk, very, 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 very important. So you must remember that to be able to do that self-talk, that positive self-talk, what you need to do is you need to build up the right story. Do you recall last time we discussed that instead of thinking, what if I don't remember anything? What if I forget everything? What if I don't know what to answer? What if somebody comes up with a question which I've never studied? The point is, you have to recreate your story too. I think I'll be doing it well. And I'm sure that, whatever I have learned, it's going to be from that. And whatsoever comes in the examination, I'm going to give the best of what I can. And I have done the best of what I actually can, right? So the more positive you think, your mind is going to be gifted with that patience. Your mind is going to be allowed to get that clarity. So if you clutter your mind with negative thoughts, you will not be able to allow your mind to think logically and recall well. Okay? And that's exactly what I want you to remember during your interviews. That is, keep yourself cool and calm. Clear? But does that really happen? So the moment you come to know that, okay, your interview is scheduled on this particular date, okay, say tomorrow is going to be your interview, okay, suppose. Now my question is, what happens to you? What are the thoughts that runs down to your mind when you think about the word interview? Okay, what happens there? I'm going to quickly share my screen here. I want you to tell me. I'm going to type in the chat window the same link. Okay, you'll be able to, if that link is open, you'll be able to access it. Sorry, did I share it in the direct message? Okay. All right. So quickly log into the link. No scribbling, please. Click on the link and tell me, what are the words that comes to your mind when you think about interview? Okay, what words start popping up into your mind when you think of the word interview? Okay, right? Okay. All right. And those who are not able to access the link, please type in the chat window. Okay. Okay. Nice. Pata nahi kya hoga, what to speak, present yourself. Okay, a window of opportunities, very nice. Okay, selection process, type of words, pass, fail, stress. Okay, okay. Anxiety, will I get this job? Okay, nice. A blank mind. Okay. Let me present myself. Let's try our best. Very nice. What if I can't clear? All right. Gate of work. Okay. Okay. So that gateway to get through. Okay. Okay. What else? What else? Forgetting all my studies, which questions will be asked, nervousness. Hua to hua nahi to koi baat nahi. All right. That's nice. Okay. Fumble, anxiety. Okay, you feel normal. That's nice, Ankit. Good to hear that. Okay, okay. Stress. Okay, a lot of hesitation, fear. Absolutely, fear of failure. Okay, bezati. Okay, what will my friends think about me? You didn't clear. Seriously, we thought you would clear it. Why did this happen to you? What will they think? Okay, nice. Okay. Cool. Okay, okay, okay. Words don't come out. Yeah. Now read out each of your friends' answers. Okay, some in the chat window and some on the screen. Look at the amount of positive words that come to your mind and look at the number of negative words that come to your mind. Okay, some of the answers are really funny. Okay. All right. Okay, so now when you look at all of these. Okay, even somebody saying ki mere pair kaapte hai, I have shivers, okay, whether I'll say it right or not, curiosity, what will happen as an outcome, okay, I'm going to kill it, right? Super. So you have a mixture of thoughts. Okay, some of you are going to stay positive, some are going to not stay very positive, some are going to have the positive answers and some not. Okay, now tell me, pick up the words. When you look at these words, ask yourself which words are really going to be helpful to you and which words are really going to break your confidence. Which words? So you know the answer. Positive words are going to make you believe in yourself more. Positive talks is going to help you. Go ahead and give your best. Okay. The moment you have range of negative thoughts, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I don't clear? What will my friends think about me? So the moment you have the range of negative thoughts, your mind will not support you and your level of confidence is going to have a deadly drop. Are you with me on this? Yeah. So the first rule for being effective at your interviews is not just what you learn so far. It's about how cool and composed can you be before the interview, even when it has not even begun. Am I making sense? Right? So now I'm going to stop the share. Okay. Before I stop the share, just have a quick look as to what kind of thoughts have been coming to your mind. Look at the number of negative thoughts that keep coming to your mind and ask yourself, is there a possibility of changing my thoughts? Is there a possibility of looking for a positive outcome? What can I tell myself instead of all these negative thoughts? Is there a different story that I can prepare myself with to be able to deliver my best? Okay. So, what I want you to do as your first step to be able to gain that confidence okay, is to ask yourself, what is the kind of story? What is that kind of story that I need to ask myself? What is the kind of story that I can actually recreate to be able to change my thoughts? Is there a different story? Is there anything positive that I can think about instead of these negative thoughts? So once again, we are going to try this out, okay? I want you to now think about what positive thought can you tell yourself before the interview, instead of thinking about how worse it could be. Is there anything positive that you can tell to yourself? If yes, what is that going to be? Okay, so I want you to give it a thought for a moment. When you come across this word interview, can you replace that negative feeling with a positive one? And if yes, what is that thought that you will create, a positive thought that you will create for yourself to be able to give your best at the interview? So now I want you to once again go ahead and write down only positive thoughts. only positive thoughts on this slide. Okay, only positive thoughts. What's the best that you are going to tell yourself before you go ahead and appear for the interview? Beautiful. Yes. Wonderful. Go ahead, type that out. Yeah, go ahead. Let's show them. Abhi nahi to kabhi nahi. Fantastic. This is the moment I was waiting for. I can do it. बहुत पैसा मिलेगा. वाह वाह वाह, क्या बात है. Okay. Yeah, I am the best. Yes. Okay. Beautiful. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. I totally understand. I understand, Pallabnath. And that's where you have to work on your thoughts. Okay. You don't have to keep calm. You have to think positive, and being calm is going to be the result of your positive thoughts. Okay. And trust me, when you are not able to do that, listening to positive music, inspirational music that charges you up, that helps you fight back, talking to somebody who can gear you up and tell you, go ahead and do it. Nothing is going to happen. You're going to crack it. Watching some amazing YouTube inspirational videos, all of this is going to just help you crack it. Go ahead, look into the mirror, Pallabnath. Go ahead, look into the mirror and tell yourself, hey, Pallabnath, you're going to make it happen. You're just going to crack it. I believe in you. Go ahead and try that out, Pallabnath. You will definitely be able to do it. That's my guarantee. I'm telling you, go ahead and just do it. So unless and until you do not speak up, that anxiety is not going to drop. So go ahead, tell yourself all the best positive things that you can. This is what I'm going to do it. And they also need me. Hello. It's not just me who wants this job. They also need me. They also need me. Okay. So that's the reason they are interviewing me. And I'm going to really contribute so well to them. I am going to be such a great asset to that organization. I am there to give something to them. I am there as a giver, not just as a taker. I need the job. I need the job. I need to prove myself. Otherwise, I am good for nothing. No, that's not the mindset you need to have. Your mindset has to be, I'm going to be the best of myself. I'm going to give the best of what they need from me. I'm going to be able to deliver what they want from me. I'm going to be able to make that difference they want in their organization. So that thought is going to actually be a game changer for both of you as well as for the interviewer. Trust me, none of the interviewers want its candidates to be nervous. None of the interviewers want its candidates to not be at their best. None of the candidates are expected to fail. That, oh my God, I'm going to spend like 15 minutes with this candidate who is nervous throughout, who is not able to speak up, who doesn't know what to talk. And it's such a waste of time, right? Interviewers want you to succeed. Remember that. So they are not there to find out faults in you. They're just there to find out whether you match to what their organization is expecting, whether you fit in, whether you can actually contribute. And whether you can contribute or not, who is going to be able to tell that to them? It's you, right? It's you. So unless and until you don't prove that to them, how are they going to accept you? So prove it to them. Prove it to them that you are the right choice. And to be able to do that, you have to tell yourself first before you go ahead and tell them that. Am I making sense? Am I making sense to all of you? Yes. So with all your positive thoughts, we are going to go to the step number 2 now. Okay, step number 2. What is step number 2? Are there any specific preparations that you need to do so that you can multiply your confidence? So just a self-talk, I'm never going to give up, I'm going to be my best, yes, I can do it and I'll do amazing. That is important. But along with that, you also need to remember that your preparation is equally important. Okay, your preparation is equally important. Now, what do I mean by preparation here? So preparation is definitely about what are you going to appear for. Clear? Preparation. So are you really clear about where you are appearing? Now, what do I mean by the where? Okay. We all know the 5 W's, right? The 5 W's, the where, why, what, when, how, what, right? Where is the first question? Where am I appearing for the interview? So, what organization is this? What does this organization do? Am I really clear about this? There are so many HR professionals who talk about their interview experiences. You might have come across so many LinkedIn posts where people write down that there are people who come for interviews, but they don't know what kind of company are they applying for. They don't know what job are they applying for. They just come and sit down and apply, right? And they are there for the interview. So that shows how serious you are about your job, how important it is for you to be able to clear this interview. How important is that organization for you? Or is this just one of the many? So that thought you have to give to them. That impression, that first and the right impression comes from your preparation. Okay, so the first point is prepare for one, the organization that you're applying for. Study their websites, study about what kind of work they do, what industry they are in. And trust me, you would say that, okay, if I'm applying at 10 organizations, do I have to really sit down and study for each of these organizations? Yes, boss, you have to. You have to. When I appeared for an interview, I was working with Godrej. For that interview, I literally worked hard for 1 week, one whole week, to be able to join that organization. That was my first organization. When I joined that organization, when I was applying for that organization, before even applying for that organization, there was at least 10 to 15 times that I just read about the requirement, just read about the requirement. What exactly are they wanting? What is the job they are offering? So Godrej Group of Companies has range of companies. So which industry am I applying in? Why do they really need this kind of a job profile? So trying to understand, where am I going to fit in? What is it, the pain point that I am going to kind of address to? The more homework I did, it made me more confident. And I knew that what kind of questions could come up. So that helps you. So remember that knowing about the organization is going to be very, very important. Now, I am not going to touch base on your technical side because that is something that goes without saying. You have to know what you are going to apply for, right? So you should know that, okay, this is the kind of profile I'm applying for, and am I really eligible for it, right? So only then are you going to apply for it. So you must know whether you are eligible and why and how are you eligible, and you do your homework well. So the first step is, of course, filtering whether you really are the right fit for them or not, and why, and whether you have that skill set, what they're asking for, is going to be your major first filtration point. Okay. Second is preparation, wherein in preparation, you are going to identify more about the organization, about the profile, about the industry, about the competitors. Right from that site, you are going to identify about a lot of other organizations as well. Right? So that is something that will give you a holistic view about what that organization does. Go into the career section, find out what is the kind of culture they follow. Most of the websites have the career section. They will be writing down so many things. We give our employees so and so, this kind of a culture. You can write down the keywords, because these keywords can be used during your interview. That I read in your on your website, that this is the kind of culture that you give. It really inspired me. That's the reason I really want to work with you. So if you do not know what is the kind of culture they offer, how are you going to even use those keywords, right? So the point is, second, preparation, right? Preparation about the organization and studying in detail. Secondly, everything that you can understand about the profile, reread it again and again and again. Now, once you are prepared with it, second step is going to be, how do you go ahead and appear for the interview? Is there some pre-preparation that you have to do? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to share quickly my screen. I'm going to share with you an interesting video. Okay. Once I share this video, I want you to try and keep in mind some important keywords. Okay. What you gain while you were watching this video. Okay. Give me a moment. I'm quickly sharing my screen. All right. So watch this video, and as you watch this video, just keep in mind some important keywords, okay, that you gain while you are listening to this video, okay?
Because, we're always worried that this could be the last show. Yeah. What are your tips for people who are on a job interviews, have one bag? I assume this applies to women.
Yes. Well, actually, a lot of times now they might have like a briefcase and an extra bag or a coat. You're actually not only supposed to have one bag, but just one thing. A lot of research has shown that if a woman has a purse and a briefcase, or a man has a purse and a big coat, he actually out of control.
Oh, that makes
just
sense.
That one thing. And remember that 93% of our communication is nonverbal.
Right.
93%. So people go into interviews thinking about just that, with only 7% just their verbal content, where there's 93% other communication you can have to show that.
Okay. All right. Is there no sound? Is there no sound? Okay. All right. So let me quickly give you a gist. Okay. The point is, first thing, when you're appearing for an interview, before the interview, you need to remember the first thing is your body language. Okay. So the moment you enter, okay, when you're about to enter, first of all, how confident you are. Okay. So there is a space between your neck and your shoulder. Okay. So between your entire neck and your shoulder. So that space shows a lot of confidence or a lack of confidence. Now, what do I mean by that? So say, for example, when you enter the interview room, are you just keeping your shoulders shrugged? Hello, how do you do? Right? The more smaller you think about, the more you raise your shoulders and then talk. So when you raise your shoulders and keep it closer to your chin, that drops your level of confidence, right? So before you enter, the first thing that you need to remember is ensure that your body language, your posture is confident. So that space between your chin and your shoulder is as vast as possible. That's rule number one. Second thing that she mentions about is about what you're carrying along during the interview. Okay, what are you carrying along during the interview? So are you carrying too many things with you? One purse, one bag, maybe one mobile phone in your hand, something handy. So one folder. How many things are you carrying? So beautifully said, you should not carry more than one thing in your hand, more than one thing. Okay, whether it is males or females, you might think, okay, I'll carry a handbag and then in one hand I'll carry a folder. Don't do that. There are times wherein, you carry a lot of things. And then when they ask you for your resume, you open up a bag, which makes a lot of sound. And then you figure out where is that resume gone. And then somewhere, a folded paper, and you remove and then nicely clean it and then present to them. So all of these are going to make it really look very shabby. So by any chance, we are going to go step by step. Okay, so if it is an offline interview where you have to go ahead and appear for an interview face to face, remember that you carry your stuff wherein you have a very systematic folder in which you have put in one copy of your resume and one more extra copy. Remember that you should know how many people are going to interview you. There might be chances that you might need more copies of your resumes. So all of these information are going to be very necessary, right? So go there, appear for an interview. While you do that, ensure that you have the right copies of resumes in a single folder with a pen handy. Your mobile phones put on silent modes, right? Certain times you have your mobile phones and they suddenly start ringing, and then you look for in which pocket is your mobile phone or which section of your purse is your mobile phone, and then you run around and try to mute it. Don't do that. Be prepared. Be prepared about what you are carrying and whether it's in silent mode. So one, your resume has to be there. Along with your resume, there would be a lot of other requirements that might have been asked, okay, in the application itself. Maybe you may need to carry along some of your previous work done, maybe a soft copy, maybe a hard copy. So all of those things that were asked in that application, in that job description, and before applying for that interview, when you read it right, you prepared with it. So carry that along with you, correct? In the folder, properly organized. Now, once you enter, so yeah, of course. So when it is an online interview, Bijoy, I'll definitely come to that. Okay. So quickly, I will cover about first, basically an offline interview. So when it is an offline interview, I'm going to quickly share with you that, keeping things organized is very important. So when you enter that interview room, how do you enter the interview room? Number one, your posture. Your posture is very important. You knock the door before you walk in. You sit when you are asked to, and without making sounds of that chair, dropping things around, very carefully, very systematically, with a smile on your face, you sit down. Making sense, right? So we haven't even yet started the interview, okay? So we are just talking about the kind of impressions that we are going to make, okay? The impressions that we're going to make, okay? So once you go ahead and enter the room and you greet people. Now, how do you greet people? There are two ways to greet people for an offline interview. One, just a smile, and two, a handshake. So should you have a handshake or not? Should you have a handshake or not? What do you think? Do you think you should first be the person to offer your hand, or should you not? No, right? So be observant. Be observant about whether that person is really willing to shake a hand with you. Okay, so you can always have a smile. Take a moment and look at all the interviewers if there are more than one. Have a nice eye contact and a smile with them, and see in the first fraction of a second, is anyone offering a hand? When they do, only then you extend your hand for a handshake. Now, yeah, okay. So your question is if there are more than one interviewers. So you do not, just imagine this scenario. There are 5 interviewers, okay? Shubham, if there are 5 interviewers, Would you say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning 5 times? No, right? So what do do is you would look around and say good morning, hello, good morning, maybe once or twice. That's all. Okay, but you will not ignore anyone. And okay, this person looks confident and positive, I'll only look at him. Okay, so what we would do is we look around, have a nice eye contact to all of them, wish them a good morning, a smile, a nod of your head, and then sit down. Correct? When you are offered to. So now you are sitting down. What should be the next agenda? Okay, so all right, how to smile? Come on, Mohammed. How am I supposed to tell you how to smile? So yeah, okay. So how to not smile is something that I'm going to tell you is when you have to smile, you smile once, okay? One. But if you constantly smile, that shows lack of confidence. Okay, so do not smile throughout the session. Yeah, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do not smile throughout the session. Okay, because that shows lack of confidence, nervousness. Okay, so when something is being asked, listen carefully, nod your head, and remember that lone principle. Okay, right. So eye contact, nod your head, lean a bit forward, and with your open body language, then open up your answers. Okay. So when you smile, be confident with the eye contact is definitely important. Don't keep showing your teeth throughout the session, but remember that you look around to all the interviewers. All right. Now, what next? What next? Okay. What if we mistook a gesture for handshake and go for it? So Anish, you have to be observant about it, right? So whether it's really a handshake or not, you will be the right person to guess. So it's always said, no, that always think before you do anything, always think before you speak, think before you do. So make it a point that you understand. So if a person is offering a seat, right, please sit. So his hands are going to be like that, right, and not like this. So you should know that, okay, is he really offering me a seat, or is he shaking a hand with me? Right? So take a moment, a fraction of a moment to decide what is he about to do, right? So fine. Right. So, okay. So if somebody is asking, okay, what if they ask us? Okay. So the point is that should I really answer back the questions or question them back? So say, for example, if somebody asks you, good morning, how are you? Right? I'm good, sir. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. So do not question back the interviewer. Do not question back the interviewer, right? So the point is you only thank the interviewer for asking you about your whereabouts. So questioning them
It's 12
is
o'clock.
going to be difficult to, take the discussion ahead. So you do not want them to again answer and then you answer. And so there is no question answer about how are you and what are things, because this is not a social conversation, right? So you do not have to question back. Okay, I hope I'm answering your questions. Okay. Right. So more than 2 interviewers, good morning, everyone. Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely. That's what I've already said. Okay. Yeah, so I'll come to that. What if they ask you to have any questions, right? So we'll come to that. So today, what I'm going to cover is two things. One, about just your preparation. Okay. And secondly, about what you talk about yourself. All right. So now, yeah, if you're not good at English, Anish, so if you're not good at English, you have to at least learn a bit of the script. Okay, you should know at least a bit of it. So you cannot start talking the basics in Hindi if the other person's talking in English, right? So these are very basic introductions, basic gestures like greetings and thanking people, showing gratitude, introducing yourself. So you can at least learn a bit of it about yourself so that you are confident enough. Practice it, rehearse it, you'll definitely make it through. Okay. Now, okay, so what are your questions? Sitting first is sitting or to greet them? Of course, it is to greet them. Okay, it is to greet them and then you sit. Okay, so imagine yourself that you've just entered the interview room. Do you just go ahead and sit down and then say, hello, good morning? You don't do that, right? So when you enter the room, you first have the eye contact with all of them and you greet along with the smile and the eye contact. Then they will ask you to sit and then you sit down and then you say thank you because they asked you to sit. Thank you so much. And be comfortable. All right. Now, third step, what about the folder that you are holding in your hand? What about the desk in front of you? Should you keep your stuff on the desk, your mobile phone, your folder, and whatever that you're carrying along? Should you keep your hands while you're talking to them on that table? Totally no, right? So observe the space between the chair of the interviewer and you. That space will tell you how much distance do they want to keep. You will see that there are some interviewers who keep very large tables between the interviewer and the interviewee. And some have the width is not too huge. So that gives you an understanding about how much proximity do they want. Okay. So first thing, do not use their tables to keep your hands, your mobile phones and stuff. So where do you keep them? So if there is a chair empty next to you, try to keep your folder or your bags next on the chair next to you. Okay. And it is handy enough in such a way that you don't drop down anything. Making sense? Try to avoid using their tables. Okay. Try to avoid while you are talking. Okay, don't push the table. Do not fidget with things around. Do not fidget with your watch or yourself or anything in and around the table, right? There are a lot of interviewees who become nervous. There is a glass of water. They keep sipping water because they are too nervous. Okay, so while you feel that you really need some water, first of all, just hydrate yourself before you get into the interview. Why? Because the more you drink water, the more nervous you feel. The other person would find you more nervous. Okay, so of course nervousness is dropped when you drink water, but the other person will take you wrong, right? That he's pretty nervous, he doesn't know what he's talking. So the point is try to avoid using their desk while you are talking, not even keeping your mobile phones. Try to use the next chair. But in case you don't have anything else and you have to keep your folder to be able to present to them, just smile and say, may I just keep it here? Smile and keep it. All right. So that's the next thing that you do. Now, when you begin the interview, most of the times the interviewers are going to ask you questions to comfort you. Okay. Now, what is the first question that the interviewer might ask? Right. Okay. Are there some questions here? I'm always stuck when they ask me about my hobbies, as I have nothing good at all. Oh my God, don't tell me that. Okay. So you'll definitely find out something. Okay. Okay. So when interview is indulged in something like a call or looking at his laptop. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yash, this is a good question. So certain times when you enter the room, now remember, just imagine this scenario. When you enter the room and the interviewer is either on a phone call, working on a laptop, or talking to the person sitting next to him, what do you do? So you do not interrupt in between. Okay. When they are busy, you do not say that, okay, I learned that when I enter, I have to say a good morning, everyone. So I go ahead and talk to all of them. Good morning. So if there are only two people in the room and both of them are busy, wait for you. Enter, take a pause. Okay. When you enter, take a pause, look around and see what are the interviewers doing. And if they are busy, just take a pause and halt. And you will see that people do notice you. They'll not keep you waiting for long. So immediately, oh, sorry. Yeah, please have a seat. Thank you so much and wish you a very good morning. And then you take a seat. Okay. So that confidence will automatically come inside you. You just have to be focused and observant about what people are doing, to not just barging into someone's conversation. Two people are talking over the phone. So good morning. That doesn't look good, right? So you have to wait for your turn, right? Yash, I hope I'm able to answer your question. All right. Okay. Okay, what should we tell if we don't know the answer? We'll come to that. How to tell about our weaknesses. Okay. All right. May I come in? Okay, please focus. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely, Vidya. So, communication is also important, Vidya, but interview skills are important. So, communications we've already covered in the previous sessions. I'm not focusing too much on what style of communication is to be used. So, basically, the first few minutes are going to be a make or break moment for you. So, just ensure that you know these basic protocols before you begin about yourself. Okay. So now what we are going to do is now we are going to try and ask ourselves, how much are we prepared for the interview? Okay, in the sense, now what would be the first question that interviewers might ask you? Okay, so the first question could be, okay, so maybe cracking to cracking up, your nervousness to break you down and to just help you relax a bit. So, good morning. All right. So, where do you come from? Which city do you belong to? There could be very generic questions just to help you with, building up your confidence. Maybe it may not happen too often. Maybe it may not happen too often, because if there are multiple questions, I mean, multiple interviewees, then they would not want to go ahead and just, ask this question to everyone, right? So what we are going to do is, I'm going to quickly share with you a slide, okay? Yeah. Point is, when somebody asks you, tell me about yourself. Now, that's going to be an important question. I'm sure you've all learned so much about it. Okay, so much about tell me about yourself. So, what do you tell people about yourself? Is there something specific that you can tell them about yourself? So, let us say that you already know what you do. Okay, you already know what you do. Now, is there anything in particular that you can talk about while you have to introduce yourself? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly share with you. I'm going to quickly share with you a link here. Okay. Now, in this link is basically of a Google slide. Okay. I want you to quickly, okay, where is the link here? Right. I want you to quickly click on this link. Okay. And those who are not able to click on the link, you can simply type in the chat window. Okay. So what will you see is on slide number 1. Okay. On slide number 1, you will see an example about what do you tell about yourself. Okay. Yeah. I'll share it here as well. Sure. So you're going to quickly you are going to check as to what. So now copy this slide. Okay, take a new slide. Okay, tell me about yourself. So in the heading you will write down your name. Okay, write down your name and write down what will you write about yourself. So just create a new slide. Each one of you can just create a new slide. Okay, I'm quickly sharing my window, I mean this thing with you so that you know. All right. So you'll see that here. Just copy paste the slide or just create a new slide. Okay. Create a new slide. Use your own template. You can use your own. It's a very basic template. Okay. So what I want you to do is you can identify very brief pointers about yourself and write down in the slide. Okay, so do not rewrite over somebody else's content. Write down your name. Okay? Write down your name. Now here you will see that I have not written myself. Okay, my name is, or you could also write I am. Okay, why do we not write myself? Is when you say myself, that's not really the right way to introduce yourself. Okay, so you never use myself, and so you don't say it that way. Okay, so whatsoever that you feel is the right way to introduce yourself, just type in this slide. Okay, just recreate a new slide and type what you think is the right way. Those people who are not able to access, you can type in the chat window. Okay, you can type in the chat window. Let me check what you guys are writing. Okay, so I have already shared a template and I'm going to also type in the chat about So you can create your own tell me about yourself. Okay. But what do you tell about yourself? Please stop share here so that I can share for those who are not able to access the Google Slide. Here, I'm going to just type here. Okay, so this is just an example. All right, so this is just an example. Now you can create your own content based on, you'll see that some specific pointers are to be there. So you do not talk about your life history. Okay, you do not have to talk about where you were born and how many people are there in your family. That's not what's asked for. Okay, so you can just quickly keep in mind what exactly is the requirement. So right now we understand that it's going to be more about a very brief conversation with reference to the job you are applying for. Okay, so write down either on the slide if you're able to access. Wow, Kumar, Anish, I play football like crazy. Really? Is that what you're going to say? Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, the page would be slow. The slides will be slow. Probably either because of your net connectivity or because a lot of people have logged in there. Okay. Let's see what is everyone writing. Okay, how many of you have written? Let me check. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. Also, for those who have been asking that, okay, I don't have any hobbies, ma'am, I have no hobbies. What do I write? One of you just wrote that. So look for hobbies to at least talk about. Okay. But then remember that if you're saying, I like to read, I read a lot. So there have been times when people ask you, what was the last book you read? By whom? Okay, so be prepared for such answers. I like to surf on net. So what is the kind of work, what is the kind of content you search on net? So you must have some sites, some content that you just refer to. Just write that down. Okay, like I just read an article by on say by a research article by Gartner about how AI has been really playing an important role in changing and creating so much of transformation in the world. So if you by chance are asked to share about the latest article you read, you must have an answer. Making sense, right? Okay, what are the other questions? Okay, tell me, what will I say if I play football? Yeah, so Anis, you could say that I love playing football, right? And if you are a national level player or a state champion, and I'm also a state level football champion, right? So you can talk about it that way. So you don't have to write words like crazy. They are total slangs. In interviews, you do not use those words. Okay. All right. Okay, what else are your questions? Till the time you're writing, let me just browse through your questions. Okay. Okay, should I share the link once again? Okay, I'm just sharing the link once again. Okay, so in case if the interview room has more females and males, now remember, there is no difference between males and females, okay? So how do you go about this? In the sequence of the way they are sitting. So either from right to left or left to right, okay? Sharma Shikhar, I think he's left the room, is it? Shikhar, Sharma Shikhar, are you there? Okay, so just to answer your question, look around, okay? And in sequence, just nod your head and greet them all, okay? If you're not confident about your smile, Suraj, you have to practice that, okay? And not being confident about your smile means you are not confident about yourself. So first be confident in your own skin, right? Just be confident and that smile will automatically come. Because if you are nervous, they are not going to enjoy the conversation. So be cheerful. People want cheerful people with the right attitude, right? Whether you'll really be able to take the stress. What if, you know, you really feel too low in your confidence, then how are you really going to deliver is what they think, correct? So, Anish Sheikh, if your interview is one of your relative, you should feel very happy about it, no? Wow, I'm definitely going to go to the interview now. If the person is your relative, not show some extra warm gestures. Oh, Kakaji, aap hai yahan pe. How nice to see you. Oh, uncle, so good to see you. Now I'll definitely get the job. Don't do that, okay? So maintain that professional decorum and don't show off even if you know that person so well. He could be your best friend or whatsoever, okay? So you have to continue keeping the decorum. Okay? All right. Any other questions? Are there any more questions? Okay, what is Anmol? What was your question? Anmol Hina, read mine also. What is your question? I don't know. Where is it? Just read it here. Get nervous whenever I see a lady interviewer. Okay, that happens. It's okay. Okay. Sanjay, I'm sorry if somebody is deleted. Okay. Wow, seriously, Harish, is this what you want to ask me as a question? What if we doze when we interview? Wow, this is amazing. You should be awarded for it. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to answer that question, Harish, because you know the answer yourself. All right. The people. So, Saddam, do you have any hobbies? Now, if you say I don't have any hobbies, that really doesn't give the right fact. Okay, so if you do not have any hobbies and all you do is coding all the time, you could say I'm so passionate about coding. That's what I do 24 by 7. So you can tell you can take that as my hobby. Coding is my hobby. See, even if work is your passion and work is your hobby, and you have no other hobbies, you can even talk that. That's making sense. So, see, yawning is definitely a total no-no. Okay. So I'm going to tell you one trick. If you really feel like yawning, there's a space exactly behind your ears. Okay, behind your ears. When you press that point behind your ears, you will be able to stop your yawn. Okay, so try that out. Try that out. So even if you feel like yawning, press that and you will be able to control your yawn. But trust me, when you have an important interview, you will definitely not feel like yawning. Okay. So see, if somebody asks you about leadership skills, if somebody is asking you about leadership skills, and if you do not have one, first of all, understand you are going to apply for an interview. So you need to know that what kind of leadership skill is required. Okay. So you certain times you have to feel confident first. And what is leadership? Leadership is not just about managing large teams. Leadership is initiatives. Leadership is about going ahead and keeping your team together, them, being a role model for them. So when you talk about like, do you have leadership skills? So here, whatever the question is, do you have XYZ skills? So you don't just have to talk about yes and no, but if you can, share that with an example, it will help them really relate well. Like say, for example, you had taken up a project in the past in your college, then you can use that example that I totally feel that I have a wonderful I have a great people. I'm able to inspire my team. Allow me to share an example about the latest project I concluded with at my college, wherein we had to come up with a solution to XYZ problem, and we all were confused about what to take up. And this is how I, took an initiative, and all of my team members were so happy that I was able to guide them. So we all worked together and ensured to reach the end result, and we eventually solved the problem. We really got a wonderful recognition. So I believe that that has helped me keep per my team members along with me being able to deliver the best myself, and also ensuring them, encouraging them to give their best as well. So I hope that addresses your question. So what you do here is you tell them why you think you are a good leader, you add an example to it, and then again say that I hope that addresses your question, right? So all right, so that's how it is. Yeah, so right. So see, basically, if you have to talk about why did you choose a career in IT, okay, Kambar, so you should know why you chose the career in IT. Do you not know that? So you should know it, right? Why did you choose it? So are you passionate about it? What is it that triggers you to join IT? So you can talk about what is the future of IT? What do you visualize the future of IT? Why is it the in thing, right? So you have chosen a career, and you are going to be the right answer. You are going to be the right person to answer. So Google out what is the future of IT and how that organization visualizes its problem for future, okay, and relate to that. Remember that, your answers are always not correct what are googled, okay. It has to be custom made to the organization where you are applying. So what does that organization do, and how are they using the role of IT to solve some major challenges? And that's how you can just address it, align it somewhere, okay. So I think that what did they ask about our weaknesses? Okay, so we're going to talk about the weaknesses. I don't know if you've received the document wherein I have mentioned all of these templates and questions and examples and answers to it. Okay, so coming back to all your answers once again. So a quick overview. Could you please check my response on slide 56? Okay, so I'm going to keep this slide open, and I'm also going to go through a couple of slides, but trust me, these templates are basically to help you go deeper in your thought process. So what you could do is you can copy and paste the link with you, browse through all the answers, look around as to is there anything more that I can do for this answer, can I really refine this answer further, okay, tell me about yourself. Now for the next session when we meet, I want you to do one homework, okay, one homework, and that homework is going to be about your strengths, about your weaknesses, okay. So about your profile, okay. So sorry, have I written? Okay, so there are some basic questions that I've already mentioned in the document, okay, in the document. So I suggest that you refer to those questions, those templates, those answers, and create your own answers, okay, before you come. If you've not received it, then I'm going to check with the team and ask to share with you again. With each of that question, identify what will be your right answer. So when you come tomorrow in the next session, come up with some basic templates, okay, so that we could refine it further and ensure that we take care of the right answers, okay. So then I can address your specific questions. Okay, so yeah, why we hire you? Okay, so I'm not sure when is the next session, so I'm sure they'll let you know. Maybe it's going to be again in the next 2 weeks, okay. Yeah, so we'll share the doc again. So the team is going to share the doc again. And okay, I'm not on WhatsApp, okay. All right, so see, with nervousness, we have already discussed a lot, Saras, with nervousness. So I suggest that you go ahead, check the first recording, and it will help you, okay? So keeping the answer short and quick, okay? So see, it depends on the question, okay? So say for example, what if Tarun, what if the person asks you closed-ended questions, okay, closed-ended questions, then your answers are going to be short and quick, okay. But if they are open-ended questions wherein you may want to share an example to elaborate, what you would do is you will not keep it too lengthy. None of your questions should cross beyond 2 to 3 minutes, okay. When the person asks you to elaborate further, right, so you have said an example and you've elaborated it in a nutshell. If you would want me to elaborate it further, I will be glad to. So if they do not say something, if you're not clear whether you should elaborate it further or not, ask them. Okay. Secondly, they may also want you that, okay, can you give us more details about this entire project? So then get into the depth of it. Okay. So closed-ended questions should be quick and short, but example-oriented questions wherein they want to gauge whether you are the right fit or not could go on till at least 2 minutes or so. And then if you think that there could be a possibility to go into detail, you can ask them a question, would you like me to elaborate it further? Example here, and then you can go further, or you can wait if they ask you to elaborate further, right? So that's how we can go ahead and do it.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Shikhar?
Ma'am, I have two questions. My first one is that do they ask questions related to BTech subjects?
Do they ask questions related to? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
BTech subjects, ma'am.
Right. See, now that depends. So, depending on what profile are you going to apply for, there could be chances. There could be chances to know whether you are technically sound or not. So they may ask you that, okay, in this subject, what did you do? If that is a requirement for that profile, they would ask you. Okay, so what is the profile, and are any of your subjects used for that profile or not? So you must do your homework there, Shikhar. Am I making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So yeah, okay. So Lucky DVG, see, if you do not understand the interviewer's question, first of all, keep your ears open. Okay, listen carefully and be in that present moment so that you understand what the question is right at the first time. Okay. Now, secondly, if you still do not understand the question, do not just answer anything what you've understood. I'm extremely sorry. Could you please come again, sir? Sorry, I didn't get that. Can you please help me understand what exactly are you asking? So be apologetic and ask the question. If you are doubtful, you've half understood, but you are doubtful. I'm sorry, is that what you're asking? That's what you're asking. So you can repeat the
Ma'am?
question and ask
Hello, ma'am?
them if, so yeah, you can repeat the question and ask them if,
Ma'am?
yeah. Yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, I'm writing in a slide and someone is scolding.
Okay, so writing the slides, now the next one. Okay, now what I'm going to do. Okay, so Nanya, where are you? Please, everyone. Okay, so the point here is that as we conclude today's session, we need to remember that number one, before the interview, your mindset is going to play an important role. Okay, so remember that you go there with a positive mindset, be confident enough. Number two, your body language, your posture, the way you enter the room, even before entering the room, do not chit chat with people around there. What have you done? What did you do? Do not sit and talk to the receptionist. Don't chit chat with people. Okay. So do not move around in the lobby area. Don't talk over phones. Don't have a shrugged shoulder and text people. Keep watching videos. Just be confident and be calm and cool. All right. So before you actually get inside the interview cabin, keep yourself calm and cool. Third point is when you enter the room, knocking the room, going inside confidently, looking around, smiling, eye contact, looking around, sequence-wise to the interviewers is important. After you complete that, when you're offered a seat, you sit down. Try to avoid using yard tables. If there is an alternate chair available, use that. Keep a folder. Do not carry too much of stuff along with you. Do not drop items. Keep your mobile phones on silent mode. All of these things you have to keep in mind. Do not smile too much. Do not slouch on the chairs. Do not dance on the chairs. Do not fidget with yourself, with things around you, on the table, off the table. Do not drink too much of water. So remember all of these. Okay. When a person is asking you questions, be very attentive to what they are saying. When he's saying something, remember the lone principle, look right into his eyes, try to nod your head, and then understand what the question is. If you got the question right, answer.
Ma'am?
Allow me to complete. So I do not forget what I'm doing. So if you have a question, please type in the chat window. I'll definitely promise you to answer your question. So that is one. And then finally, when you're answering your questions, know what you want to speak, be prepared with your answers right in advance, because you should know what job you're applying for. Align it with the content that they have mentioned in the job requirement, right? So know what they have asked for and use those keywords so that they feel that you are the right fit. Okay, use examples throughout in your conversation, that will help you. Talking about knowing about yourself, tell me about yourself. So customize your template with reference to the job requirement. Do not copy paste the same no, tell me about yourself to all organizations. Remember that what is the requirement, customize it to that. Okay, and also the same goes for virtual interviews. I'm sorry we missed on that. So these were offline sessions. Even in online virtual interviews, look around with people. So you would say that, okay, how do I keep eye contact when it is a virtual session or it is an online interview? So there are a lot of people on that platform. So it's okay, you can look around and nod your head, you can show your gestures. So even if you are looking at me, you would see that, okay, I'm not just sitting, right? You would feel that, okay, I'm interacting with you. So the same has to go while you are appearing for your interviews. So do not interrupt people when they are asking questions, whether it is online or offline. And in online interviews, I'm going to take one more minute to quickly tell you that while you are appearing for an online interview, remember that there is not too much of a noise in the background. Remember that the background behind you is also being seen. So what is hanging around, what are the things that are kept around, is that what you want to project? So be very careful. There are people moving around, avoid doing that. No more distraction. Keep the light in front of you. Okay, in front of you, the light should be not behind you, because that gives a poor lightning effect. So the light has to be in front of you. The best lighting is 3-point lighting, one from the front and 2 from the sides. That's the best lighting. Having natural light is also wonderful. So if you have natural light in the room, so along with the tube lights and the other artificial light that you have in the room, natural lights, if it's the day part, do not close your curtains, let the curtains be open with the windows closed. Ensure there is not too much of a sound around. Okay, be formally dressed, even if it is from the comfort zone of your home. Just be dressed the way you would appear in an interview. Okay, so every single thing, right from your hair or to your upper part of your body, that's all that's going to be visible. So you can keep that in mind, being formally dressed. All right, that's all. Have I covered everything? What is your question? How to gain confidence back? So you have to check back on the first session. All right, I read a lot about sneakers. Oh my God. Okay, Rahul, I'm not very sure if you want to talk about it. Okay, so I see, if you show how professional you are, you would want to talk about certain hobbies which help them relate more about you. But yeah, if you just want to put a very lighter note, you can talk about one important hobby. And also I love reading a lot, studying a lot about sneakers as well. So maybe a very subtle remark if you want to, but your major hobby has to be something that okay. So all right, so that's all. And what if the internet connection lags? So yeah, please take care that doesn't happen, because that's the most irritating thing that could ever happen. So try that to ensure that your internet connection is good. Try to ensure that you can keep your video on. Keep an alternative mobile data hotspot on. By any chance there is a power cut, instantly you are able to re-log in with so right, let's say in the first that it's not going well. So how can we come back? Okay, confidence would be shattered. Yeah, you have to constantly keep yourself confident. Right. Okay, so I'm but the sound is not going anyways. So basically you have to keep your confidence through and through. So do not just feel nervous. Okay, and just make it till the end. Okay, make it till the end, Yash. Because unless and until the interviewer doesn't tell you, sorry, you are rejected, okay, till the time you should not lose hope. Okay, it beautifully said that the customer continues to be your prospect until he says, no, don't come back to me again. Okay, so similarly, that interviewer is definitely your prospect organization unless and until he tells you, sorry, we don't need you. Okay, so you have to keep trying and crack it. Maybe you can just make it at the last end. Okay, so it's absolutely okay. Just tell yourself, I am here and I'm going to give the best as much as I can. Okay. Absolutely, Khambar, absolutely, Pushpendra, you should know that, okay, if you have a very large beard, you should keep it groomed, okay, because these days there is a trend of keeping beards. So keep yourself groomed and or else completely shaved, totally up to you. But if you have a beard, keep it properly groomed, okay? All right, okay. And when we speak, does our arm movement is also important, or should we only speak without any hand gestures? Yeah, so if it is a virtual meeting, okay, you would say that, okay, my hands are not visible. So is that okay? So trust me, still, keep your, that eye level, okay? The eye level, that lens has to be at your eye level, okay? So when you're looking around, you're looking into your, what you call, your screen. Okay, so first of all, the lens has to be at the eye level. So certain times, you talk from the top. Okay, sometimes it's like this. Hello sir. Okay, this is not how it is to be, and nor it should be from below. Okay, so remember that you have to keep your head right into at the lens of that camera, whether it's a laptop or your mobile phone, and straight. Okay, the position. So if you look at my box, okay, my screen box, break that box into 9 boxes. Break that box into 9 boxes. Okay, so my face will come exactly in the center box. Okay, the center box. So if this entire screen was distributed among 9 boxes, you see my face in the center box. Exactly where your position has to be when you're appearing for your interviews. Do not sit in the corner, left side, right side. Okay, so it has to be right in the center. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Yeah, the grid, that's right, that's the right thing. All right, so yeah. And what was else that you were asking? Yeah, sorry. So your question about your hand movement. So my point here is that try to use your hands, okay, occasionally. So do not keep your hands like this, sir. So what I was saying was that do not make it so unnatural, but occasionally you should be able to at least show your hands. Like in the last session I shared about Amy Cuddy, wherein she mentioned that when people are able to see your hands or a bit of your palm, they believe in you more. Okay, so watch the video if you've not yet watched that TED talk by Amy Cuddy, the Harvard researcher, and try and understand how that body language and how postures and how your hand movements play an important role. Okay, yeah, is that all? Okay, okay. And should my shoulders be visible in a VC interview in front of a camera? Yeah, of course they should be. So imagine that only if my face is visible like this. Now, does that really look interesting, right? It doesn't look interesting, and moreover, it doesn't look engaging at all. It feels that, am I really talking to someone, or is this, just a face? So basically, your shoulders should be visible. Your shoulders should be visible. So why we should hire you? I'll definitely try covering. I'll try covering. Okay, so grooming. Oh my God. Okay, so Sanjay will try covering grooming in the next session. So hair, as I said, that see, it has to be gelled well behind. Okay, so hair coming in front of your face while you're talking, and you're nicely putting them behind while you are appearing for an interview doesn't look good. So do not touch your face. Do not touch your face while you are appearing for the interview. So keep all your hair behind, nicely set in. Okay. It's very annoying how to, okay, mirror effect. Okay, I don't know about the mirror effect. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, it is in the settings. It is in the settings. So you can change the settings whether you want to keep a mirror effect or not. Okay, that is definitely possible. All right, and okay, all right, so perfect. And even females, for you as well, keep your hair tied up. They should not fall on your face. Okay, so all right, so now you can continue chatting around with your Kajni hair and your zero hair. Okay, I'm going to now conclude the session here. So in the next session when we meet, I'm going to ask the team to reshare the document with you. All the questions are already mentioned, so answers are also suggested in that question. So I would want you to just sit down and find out the right answers for yourself. Okay, write down your answers for yourself, and then still if you do not find an appropriate answer, then we'll kind of discuss it. So in the next session we'll definitely touch base on more of the questions that will be asked in the interviews, and also about, if time permits, what to answer when we do not know the answers. Okay, so we are going to have around 3 more sessions specifically on question and answers, so I think we'll cover that. Yeah, I read that, Syed, and I would love to answer why we hire you, why should we hire you. So it's a very customized answer that we would want to give. Allow me to share it with you in the next time. Just to give you a nutshell, remember that the answer about why should we hire you has to be what is the answer are they looking for is whether you will be the right fit for that job description or not. Okay, so they don't have to hire you because you are a very kind person. They don't have to hire you because you're a very friendly person. I gel around with people. What is it that they require? What have they mentioned in the job description? That's the keyword that you have to look for. So go ahead and do a bit of homework here. Pick up any advertisement or about a walk-in interview or about a scheduled interview and read about it, and then try to answer this question about why do we hire you in context to the job description that they have mentioned. You have to be able to answer why we hire you in context to whether you will be the right fit for them or not. Am I making sense? Yes, because you have a lot of people who have asked this question. I'm just giving you a quick example. So yeah, so ask for yourself, why are they asking still, even when they have vacancies? So they are not asking whether we should hire people or not. They are asking whether we should hire you or not, Vamsi. They are asking whether you will be the right fit or not. So you have to sell yourself, dear. You have to sell yourself, okay, as to what are your attributes, what are your skill set, and why will you make that difference better than others. Okay, so that's what you have to do, right? So that's the point. Okay, all right. So there are too many questions, and I'm going to take a halt now. Our time is up. We have already taken half an hour extra. So let us go ahead. Let us go ahead and what I would suggest is I'm going to quickly share a Google Doc here, and whatever questions that you have, just type your question here and share it with one of the team members. Okay, so I'm just quickly writing here Q&A. Okay, Q&A, jobs, interview skills. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to share with you a Google Doc, okay? And in this, you will be able to write down all your questions. So for any questions that have been I have not been able to cover today, okay, that I've not been able to cover today, address today, I'm quickly writing it here, okay? So do not delete others' questions. Let's be genuinely supportive. So whatever questions that you have, just type your question here. I will access the Google Doc and I will try to answer the question. Okay, so that's all. And yeah, so for people, so I'm going to disconnect the session now because our time is up. But for those people whose questions have not been answered yet, just type it in the Google Doc. Please don't delete others' questions and answers. Okay. Also, some of you wanted to follow me, so I'm also sharing my LinkedIn link. So for those people who would want to follow me on LinkedIn, you are most welcome. I do keep posting a lot of content on LinkedIn as well. It will be glad to have you a part of my network. So that's all for the session today. It was fantastic connecting with all of you. And whatever more queries that you have, just type in the Google Doc and I will try answer answering. I'll keep updating whenever I get time in the Google Doc itself. So wish you a good luck and keep thinking positively. Continue doing your assignment, the same assignment that I've given last time. Please do that. And secondly, the doc which was shared with you with reference to the questions that you have to ask, the question that could be asked in an interview with the templates, please, I'll ask them to reshare it with you. You may also want to create your own answers for it. Okay, so how to open the document, which document? So this link I've already shared for your Q&A, and that document with the template, I think they will send in your WhatsApp groups. Okay, so that's all right, thank you very much, thank you very much. Okay, so how we can handle, so all your questions jo bhi abhi baki reh gaye hain, I request you please put it in the Google Doc and allow me to conclude the session. Okay, so it's my pleasure, thank you very much for your kind comments. Okay, all right, so the document will open. Already a lot of people have opened up the link, so try again. Okay, maybe a lot of people have logged in and that's why you're not able to log in. So okay, I'm going to copy paste the link again if you want. Okay, so that if you're not able to access the document, it reads as Q&A issue job. So one sec. Okay, so click. All right, thank you very much and wish you a good day. All the best. All right, thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Good day to you as well. Thank you, Sudeep.